I believe in the power of like the encounters and dialogues in the sense that people don't know much about each other. Like we are kind of like asked to not to know about each other. We are always like divided in certain circles and isolated with like this walls and at least the discourse of walls, and we've always been asked to like feel more comfortable with people that are more similar to us, and in that sense we were always being avoided from getting to know each other groups or sects or like any sort of like identity group. By learning about each other, the world wouldn't be that cruel and brutal. We can be brutal to each other because we don't know each other. Being able to see the fact, like this basic fact that we are equal human beings. And there's nothing about our genes, there's nothing about our nationality that makes us better from each other. I think that's the main part. And being ready to learn from each other.
I really love to go forward to my dreams, like having some place for myself that can everyone use the experience of each other, sharing their experience and like using it and travel everywhere. Like I really love to see the world with no borders, even if it's impossible for the moment.
What attracted us to start seeing Iran, I would say, like misconceptions about Iran. This country has suffered for like at least 40 years from some sort of like economic, political, social, cultural, environmental, any sort of like human interaction was kind of being isolated inside this country. So the borders of Iran, I don't think are just some sort of like the geographical borders. There's something more about it. There's something, a border in the discourse that doesn't let the interaction happen or the encounter happen as well. So that kind of like motivated me to start something like a platform, like a Facebook group. And that kind of grabbed a lot of attention because there was a new sort of reality being made about Iran that people were not used to. Later on, we thought that we need to some sort of like materialize this network or make it spatial. Like we need a space because the space have power to shape everyday lives. We thought of hostel in the beginning because we thought, first, because of the lack of infrastructure, but again, the second part was the power that we thought by having this place to introduce people to each other and make this some sort of like social, cultural encounter happening. And later on, we could manage to have the cultural house. We started to hold events every other weeks or 2 or 3 weeks. So through these events, we had like Iranian, non-Iranians, people can sit together and communicate, get to know what the others think, learn about from them, teach them. So I think that was something very unique that we were doing.
It's not common for the hostel to have a public cafe. This space that they call bar in the hostel, they use it only for the travelers and the guests. And the idea for trying to put the people, no matter they are from Iran or other countries, to start the dialogue with each other, that was a public cafe.
4 years ago, I had a friend that came from France, and we did some tours together. And after I asked him how did you decide to come to Iran, he told me that there is a group in Facebook which name is See You in Iran. So it was my introduction with See You in Iran project actually. And then 9 months ago, I was searching for a job and suddenly I saw a post in Facebook group and I decided to apply for it because I was really interested on the project that they are doing and the way they are planning everything and doing something about Iranophobia. It was my really enjoyable task to do.
Our main challenge, though, I think, is the fact that Iran's incoming tourism, like the non-Iranians coming to visit Iran, is very directly affected by the global conflicts, by the Iranian-centered global conflicts. From what we've had, from the protests inside Iran, from the sanctions outside, from the relations between the states, we have good statistics that shows how our, just to make it simple, the number of tourists that we have in our hostel or in our events or whatever, or using our online services is decreasing with any sort of conflict. Our hostel is empty right now.
Everything is changing very fast, and specifically about the politics, and we are not able to predict what's going on exactly. And it's really tough for me because I'm doing the financial thing, and I have to actually, the team need me to predict well for our actually survival in this situation.
We got to the point that we're not going to give up. So yeah, I think that's a part that I think we would love to invite the international community and also the institutions to not give up on Iran. Because if we do that, I think, and not only we go back to, I don't know, many years ago when there was no dialogue about Iran at all, and all it was about the threat of war or nuclear weapon or whatever, is that people inside Iran would feel the walls around them. And I don't think people in Iran deserve that. So yeah, I would love to ask everyone to try to promote this type of international dialogues about Iran. I think we, the people, can help each other toward bottom-up, grassroots type of interactions. And I still believe in it. Our team also believes in it, and I think it's still possible. There are risks for sure. There's always been risk. Like even at the time that me or my team, like colleagues, came back to Iran, we always knew that we are going toward a risky process. But I think we haven't yet given up our hope.
After this protest and everything, I received too many text messages from our last guest, who said they're thinking about us, like they missed Iranian people, and nowadays they know how exactly Iranian people are, and now they care about it. So it was really important for me. This hostel really feels like home for me, and I really care about this hostel. Even if I won't be here, I really want this hostel to be successful. And about Iran, I really want to see my people happy again. I'm not very sure when it's gonna happen, but I really want these days to be finished, and I really need a big end to this situation.
I hope that in near future we see the better situation of Iran, that all the obstacles are solved. But we believe that it's not coming from the government. So I think that we believe that the people can be a part of this and they can do something for that.
My hope generally is that tourism would become an instrument for that idea of human encounter. Like that's what my main hope. Of course, at the same time, I hope that it becomes a means of providing jobs and developing the economy. At the same time, of course, I believe that tourism could become a part that introduces different sides of Iranian life, Iranian people to the rest of the world, that could combat those misconceptions about Iran.